Hi everyone, it's Paddy here. I hope you've really been enjoying my new EP, The Hardcore of Beauty. Today I am going to walk you through the Ableton session and kind of break down the track a bit because there's so much going on. So we can take a step-by-step walkthrough and pick the song apart. This is the lead single, The Hardcore of Beauty. So when I originally started working on this, it was an experiment with a single microphone and an acoustic guitar. And I'm not that much of a guitar player, so it was interesting to try this out. And with other instruments like the hang drum and some kalimbas, I found it was really interesting to introduce more of an acoustic element to my music. And that's where the main experiment with the contrasting of the synthesizers came in. So this is the guitar track on its own. And you can see here that there's two of them, so they're panned left and right. Here's the left. And the right. You can hear that it's a bit rough around the edges, but you know, I don't mind that. Like my previous piano music, tape sketches, you know, there has to be a bit of a raw element to this music, especially in reflecting the theme of brutalism that I'm trying to capture here with the EP. So yeah, accompanying these guitar parts are the Junos. So there are the chords at the beginning. There is the MIDI for it. So I put those in, and then with my Patch 22, I was able to capture these really, really nice sounding organ chords that really complement the guitars really well. And with just some minimal EQing, some saturation, and then more EQing, we were able to get a nice sound that sat really well with the guitars here. So yeah, that made for a very, very nice intro, and I felt that it created a very nice sounding environment to, you know, to introduce everybody to this new EP. So with that then comes the hang drum part, and as I mentioned, that was all done in the same recording session with the guitars. So it was a nice day with some microphones and some acoustic experiments. So there's the hang drum part just playing underneath the guitars and the Juno. So then, at the time, I was borrowing my friend Gareth Quinn Redmond's Buchla 208 while he was on tour. So I added some very light kind of more. It sounds very percussive as well, and I thought that complemented the hang drums as well. So that's coming in here. You'll see the Buchla 208 channel, and then there's another one below. So the two of those guys sound like this. Nice spring reverb in there on board. And in typical fashion, I decided to add in some really nice swirly sounding Eurorack synthesizer parts that came from my Eurorack Buchla system. With plenty of stereo panning happening here, there's a nice development accompanying the other Buchla hang drum, and a new Juno melody. And at this point, then we start the build up to the main drop in the track, where I introduce a little fast repeated bass line from the MS1 synthesizer. And you'll see that here. Yeah, maybe not like that. So yeah, you can see that there's lots of processing happening here. It's not active at the moment. That will come in later on. There's tuned distortions, some automated filtering, and then some echoes. But all of that happens later on in the song. So here we're approaching the main first drop of the song, where we start to hear the buchla bass sequence here. So now is probably a good time to walk through the perk stuff that's happening. It's fairly simple. There is some MIDI kicks. There is an audio sample of a kick coming maybe from a synthesizer because it's stereo here. And then there's some top loops, shakers, hats and snares. But the main guts of this song is the buchla bass sequence that we hear here. And that was created using a number of oscillators and the dual voltage processor, where we really get an idea of frequency modulation and how you can really get a powerful sound from, you know, a combination of oscillators. So this main modular part, the main part of the song, was recorded in one sitting, and you can see here that there's absolutely no work done to it at all. All MIDI clocked, MIDI synced, and it was from here really that the song grew legs, and it acted as the perfect contrast to the synthesizer and guitar intro with the hang drum. So this is really the main body of the song, and then later on here you can see more percussive elements are coming in, so we'll jump straight to there. And you can see here that there's some fading happening on the Juno melody line, and the hang drum part here is just a sample of the original one that was in the intro, and it acts as a sidechained kind of swooping, swooshing effect from the kick drum. So if you hear the hang drum and the melodies together, so that is essentially the main body of the track and everything that's happening there. There is this breakdown that happens twice throughout, just to give that kind of festival feel where everything falls out of the track and then it slowly comes back in. So this was done with automated reverbs and compression delays on all of these. You can see I'm using 4 different reverbs on a send, so these will sound very nice on their own, I hope. And all of these sends are just working away in the background, creating that very atmospheric environment in the background, just in time for this build up here. And that is the hardcore of beauty. Hope you enjoy.